Imagine dying while you're playing the game you love most, and then imagine waking up inside that exact same game in the body of a throwaway side character. But you have one advantage nobody else has. You can copy other people's skills, merge them together, and then upgrade them. So what exactly is our hero planning to do in this new world? Grab your snacks, sit back, and let me tell you the whole story from the beginning. It starts with our hero playing his favorite game, and he is absolutely furious because he is fighting one of those players who throws real money at the screen, and you can see the veins standing out on his forehead. In the end, he takes one single hit and dies instantly, and that makes him lose his mind completely. He starts cursing the pay-to-win system and asking how games are even allowed to work like this. How does a kid who registered yesterday beat me 10,000 hours in this game, and I lost to him? No, I'm the donkey here for playing this kind of game in the first place. Then, right after the match, a random loot box lands in his inbox, and when he opens it, out comes the Heavenly Devil, the exact character that was just beating him to death. He is over the moon, he genuinely cannot believe his luck for once, and right there he decides to sacrifice every single one of his free characters to level up his shiny new one. And while he is crossing the street, grinning like an idiot, the beautiful delivery truck of every anime ever comes along and sends him straight to the second world. When he opens his eyes, he works out that he is in a hospital, and he thanks God that he is still alive. But then a headache hits him so hard, he genuinely cannot handle it. Until the nurse comes in and calls him by a name, Warrior Rin. Our hero is baffled by that name and has no idea why she is calling him that. So he shoots up and grabs the patient board off the end of the bed, and he finds out that he really is Rin, Warrior Rin. I know he is regretting it a little. He fed every single one of Warrior Rin's characters to the Heavenly Devil as fodder, and now guess which body he has woken up in. The idiot then puts his broken leg straight down on the floor, and a second later the pain arrives. Triple H, my leg? Am I dying? Is this it? The nurse comes running to help him and calls for the doctor, and the doctor arrives and says, "Son, you have just come out of an accident and you want to walk. Do not worry, we just need a few tests and a magic resonance scan." Magic what? Magic resonance? Warrior Rin. And magic and resonance. And I do not know what else. What on earth are these people talking about? Some time passes and he finally gets his discharge papers, but unfortunately the hospital bill is enormous and he is genuinely stunned. 22 million. For 4 days? 4 days? You bunch of crooks? The girl at the desk tells him, "If you cannot pay, sir, just bring us your Magic Tower insurance, or a Legion policy, or anything like that." Magic Tower insurance. Legion, what are you talking about? And suddenly he goes completely silent. He stands there thinking, and then he says, hold on a second. I know these words, Legion, Megacorp, the Magic Tower, the Holy Order. Yes, those are the 4 factions that control the world of Arkan. The world ruled by chaos where science advanced far beyond anything we know, and then magic arrived on top of it. There are dozens of races in Arkan that are not human at all, and there are humans who modify their own bodies. Oh no, I really have fallen into this cursed game. I was so happy that I finally pulled the Heavenly Devil, one of the strongest characters in the game, and now I'm dead, and I have woken up inside this warrior instead. What kind of rotten luck is that? He goes home, and he finds that home is one single room, and honestly, the bathroom in his old apartment was bigger than this entire room. My whole body aches, and on top of that, I have no money. So what am I supposed to do about that? And another thing, if this really is the Arkan I know, then very dangerous events are coming soon. Nuclear detonations, dimensional rifts, or even an invasion by the rulers of other planets. The one that turns this planet into a literal hell. I do not know if this is a dream or something worse, but if I sit here and do nothing, I'm going to die. And suddenly a very bloody idea arrives in his head. He picks up a pen, and from the look on his face, he is clearly about to do something extremely stupid. And a moment later, yes, he stabs the pen straight into his own hand. And I honestly do not know why you're screaming. You're the one who stabbed yourself. Anyway, he notices a green light spreading across his hand, and the wound slowly starting to close. And he is absolutely delighted. I was right. I knew it would work. And why did it work, my friend? Because he just acquired the trait regeneration from wounds. Our hero explains that he always loved playing Warrior Rin's free characters, and the reason is that they do not have a base trait or any special trait locked in at all. And that is exactly what lets him choose whichever traits he wants, even if they completely contradict each other. He could be a butcher and a field medic at the same time, and nothing stops him. Which means he is now one of Warrior Rin's characters, and he can turn every exploit and every piece of information in this game to his own advantage. I'm going to use 10,000 hours of playtime and complete knowledge of every bug in this world, and through the weakest body in the game, I'm climbing back to the top. So our hero heads off to the hunter placement office, and the man behind the desk asks him whether this is his first time here. Yes, sir. I am planning, God willing, to join the mana cleaning crews. Honestly, he did not want to come here at all, but unfortunately this is the only way he can get his hands on money right now, and the man behind the desk, whose name is Chun, looks him up and down. Look, son, it may be called cleaning, but this job means going down into the dungeons. Chun holds up his file and points out that his record is completely empty. White paper, nothing on it at all. And our hero tells him, I know exactly how hard this work is. We will be cleaning polluted mana, and that pollution comes straight off the monsters. And if it is not cleaned, you get disasters. Monsters climbing out into the streets, or worse, you get exposed to the taint yourself, which either kills you on the spot, or turns you into a monster in your own skin, a danger to everybody around you, and then you die anyway. That worries our hero quite a lot. But he tells Chun he agrees and asks him to put him on the cleaning team. Chun thanks him, and our hero is already walking out when Chun says, let me ask you one last time, son. Are you certain about this decision? Because I have watched a lot of people come through that door wanting fast money, and they go down, and they do not come back. Our hero just smiles at him and says, do not worry about it, Uncle Chun. My situation is going to end up better than yours. Chun has absolutely no idea what this boy is talking about. But we know, do we not? The sly little thing knows future events. He knows things that are going to help him enormously. And honestly, his situation really is going to end up better than this poor man's sitting behind a desk night and day watching the years go by. Some time passes, and our hero goes to meet the crew leader he will be working under, a man called Rock. Our hero introduces himself and is barely halfway through the sentence, when Rock grabs him by the collar and says, where exactly do you think you're going, sunshine? This place is not a billiards hall. Just pray while you work. And if I see one single sign of mutation on you, I will finish you myself. Understood, boss. Rock, just relax a bit, yes? And our hero says to himself that this man's temper is exactly like it is in the game. He is genuinely puzzled about why Rock's character is even in a place like this, and he starts wondering whether this is still early in his life before he was ever awakened. Another crew member steps in and tells Rock to leave the new boy alone and stop scaring him, because we can barely find anybody willing to work with us at all, and frightening him on day one is not clever. This is where we meet Bongsu. Rock lets go of our hero, and our hero tells Bongsu straight out that he is not confident in him. Better for you not to be dead weight. We have 4 days to clean this place, and I do not want delays. Then he looks at Rock and says, you know something? If this were the game, Boss Rock, I would have kneaded you into dough, I swear it. Do not be upset with him though, my friend. He looks harsh from the outside, but the man is genuinely decent underneath. Our hero ignores the pair of them completely and does not say another word. The lads head over to the gate, and they are all gagging from the stink coming off the monsters. Rock shouts at everybody to get ready, because he is opening the door. Everyone take your positions immediately and get set, and keep your eyes open for the slime monsters. The second the door opens, the polluted slimes come pouring out at them. These slimes are born from the polluted mana that fills the dungeon. And even though they are extremely weak, the thing that makes them so irritating is that they do not die easily. To actually finish one off, you have to break the mana core hidden inside its body. Rock yells at the lads to find those cores fast and destroy them before anybody gets tainted. And our hero goes sprinting in to save his workmates. Bongsu is baffled. because he can hear the new boy shouting at all of them to get back right now. And then hup, he springs into the air and comes straight down on a slime and splits its head open. And yes, our hero also managed to pinpoint the core and destroy it in one go. Oh, this is nice. This job is a joke. Come on then, let us play a bit more. Boss, what about the man whose entire future you nearly ended with that landing? Our hero ignores him completely and walks off to hit the next slime and the next and the next, and he keeps locating the mana core every single time with no effort at all. Legendary, absolutely legendary. Everyone is stunned that he can do this with one strike per monster, and they all stand there watching him charge straight at the slime boss. He says the whole thing is extremely easy for him. Come here and let me tell you why it was so easy. And for that, we have to go back 2 days. Our hero was crawling around, dragging himself along the ground, like he was hunting for something and could not find it. Mummy, that man is stupid. Sweetheart, do not point at people and do not look at him, or you will end up like him. Then our hero looks up and says, finally, I found it. And what he was hunting for, my friend, was an old coin. He was doing all of that to acquire the treasure hunter trait. Our hero tells us that this trait is one of the most important traits in the whole game for developing Warrior Rin. So he stayed out there hopping around and playing in the dirt like an idiot, while the poor mother was busy telling her son to study hard and become a pilot, instead of turning out like him. And it was not only treasure hunter. He also went digging through rubbish bins for 2 days straight, and that was to pick up another trait called pollution resistance. Acquiring traits is possible for him, and it works by meeting whatever conditions the trait requires. And once you have them, you can activate them at any moment you need them. And the trait he is running right now is Treasure Hunter, which is exactly why he can pinpoint the core on the very first look. And sure enough, he hammers the slime boss right through its core and blows it apart. Because of what he just did, the entire body of the slime boss goes flying all over everybody, and they immediately start cursing Rogue for it. Well, turns out the 2 days I spent doing extremely stupid things actually got me a result. Warrior Rin really is the best character for me. My friend, what exactly are you licking? Anyway, after that very long day, our hero gets on the bus and sits there thinking, and he says that even with the traits helping him, today was exhausting. Bongsu comes over to thank him, because thanks to him, they are all going home early. Honestly, boss, you were unbelievable. I have never seen anyone clean like that before. It is nothing, mate. I just picked up some experience in the army, that is all. Bongsu thanks him again, and then, suddenly, 2 small horns push their way out of the top of his head. And our hero realizes that the mutation symptoms have already started because of how much taint Bongsu has been exposed to, so he tells Bongsu to rest tomorrow and not come in at all, because it is obvious that he is in a bad way. But Bongsu refuses because he has debts to pay. And our hero tells him that is completely fair, because nobody sane would risk their life on a job like this. 4 days go by, and finally, thank God, they finish the cleaning work. And our hero looks around at everybody, filthy and wrecked after wiping out all those monsters. And that includes poor Bongsu, whose symptoms have taken him over completely. And Boss Rock comes over and says, well, look at you, all packed up and ready to go. Honestly, I did not expect you to work well at all, but you genuinely impressed me. Do not embarrass me, Boss Rock. Everybody did their part. And our hero says to himself, yes, and it was all thanks to the traits. This work is properly exhausting, Rin. And suddenly, our hero hears a scream tear through the air right beside him. And it is coming out of Bongsu, who is being taken over by the polluted energy. His friends come running to check on him, and they are shouting that his power is going out of control. Roke sprints over and tells everybody to get away from him. He grabs hold of Bongsu and says, come on, we are getting you out of here right now so we can treat you. But the situation was never going in a good direction, and the polluted mana takes Bongsu over completely. Bongsu attacks every single person there and blows the whole place apart with his power. And our hero, watching all of this happen, says, no, poor stupid Bongsu has transformed. And yes, the monster genes have taken him over entirely. He has lost his mind and now he wants to attack our hero. Roke has already been knocked unconscious by the blast, and our hero realizes that he has to try and beat him or nobody is walking out of here alive. Unfortunately, every trait he currently has is a cleaning trait. He has nothing at all he can use in a fight, but how am I supposed to face him with these ridiculous traits? Is this it? Is this how it ends for me? And boom, Bongsu plants a fist straight in his face and swells it up like a balloon, and the force of it slams our hero flat into the ground. Just a little tickle, and now he is coughing up blood as well. You can see, my friend, that the gap in raw power between them is enormous, but by some ridiculous stroke of luck, he just acquired a new trait, and that trait is endurance. So he decides to gamble and to try using his traits to work out a way to fight at all. But first, he has to delete the traits that are useless to him, because he can only hold 6 traits on the list at once. He decides to keep the strength trait and the mana heart trait, because both of them matter enormously right now. Then endurance as well, and mana absorption, so he can control the mana around him. And the last thing he needs is pollution resistance. With all of those traits merged together, he can finally face Bongsu. Bongsu comes charging at him and gets ready to hit him. But our hero activates the strength trait, plants his feet, and takes him head on, and he lands a hit on Bongsu like a man swinging for a home run and sends him flying. And our hero is thrilled. This is amazing, I can finally do something against you lot. But Bongsu, sailing through the air, twists around fast so he can use the special attack that comes with his transformation. Our hero takes one look at him, sighs, and says, "Right? Lads, what exactly is coming for me here? Does he think he is a superstar, and he is coming down on me with his ultimate as well? Fine, come on then, boss." And boom, Bongsu lands on him and blows the whole area apart with the impact. But luckily our hero comes out of it in one piece, and that is purely because he used the endurance trait. Our hero springs up onto Bongsu with his sleeve already rolled back, and he tells him that even with the trait running, he can still feel every bit of this. But if I stop fighting now, I die, so I'm not stopping. He looks at Bongsu and says, "I swear on everything. I'm not letting go of you," and boom, bang off we go. He starts raining punches down on him, but it is never that simple, is it? Bongsu triggers one of his quills and fires it straight at our hero, who barely manages to twist out of the way, except he dodges one and eats the next. Then another and another. All of those quills bury themselves in his body and drive him backwards until he is skidding along the ground on his face. And our hero is annoyed, because he was just starting to enjoy himself, and he still needed to hit Bongsu a few more times. So he throws himself at him again and says, "Take this," and comes down with his bare fist. And blood goes spraying everywhere. But here's a surprise, my friend. The source of that blood is our hero's own fist, which has literally burst open from smashing into Bongsu's quills. And not only that, Bongsu keeps firing quills at him until his entire hand is destroyed, and then he gets ready to bring down a hammer blow that finishes him off for good. I knew from the very start that Warrior Rin's characters would come in useful in the real world. And by the look of it, this is exactly where my time in this world ends. And Bongsu slams him into the ground and shatters it with a single hammer strike. And our hero remembers playing the game and how he could fight the hardest opponents in it without breaking a sweat. Because it was a game, obviously, even when the character was getting hit, he was not the one feeling it. He would simply push his characters past their own limits and call it training because it was effective. But right now, he knows exactly how much agony he has to swallow to earn one single mid-tier trait. We watch Bongsu absolutely pulverizing our hero into the floor. And then Bongsu notices something coming towards him, and that something was our hero's fist, which arrives on his face and sends him flying halfway across the room. Our hero says, "Finally, I have got the trait I needed." And that trait, my friend, is mutated beast muscle. And he tells us there is no way on earth to win anything unless you pay a price for it. In other words, the only reason he swallowed that entire beating was so he could get his hands on a brand new trait, which comes from pushing past the limits of the mana heart, endurance, and strength all at once. Bongsu screams and comes charging at him, and our hero says, "No, I'm not getting hit again." Bongsu drives a fist into him, and our hero blocks it and starts laughing and hammers him back. "Show me then, boss. Show me how you plan on hitting me now. I am practically at home here." Bongsu is furious about that, so he readies his fist and drives our hero into the floor again. He is literally turning him into a colander, and our hero says, "Oh, may your family home be ruined. You have not been using your full power this entire time, have you?" And suddenly, Bongsu feels the body underneath him beginning to change, and sure enough, our hero's body starts shifting, after his mutated beast muscle trait evolves into the mutated body trait. Bless you, Bongsu, I swear, thanks to you, my trait just upgraded itself. And Hup, our hero, comes up fast and locks onto Bongsu's hand, and the two of them are straining against each other with everything they have. Boss Rock finally wakes up because of all the noise and destruction going on around him, and what he sees in front of him is two monsters wrestling each other and pulling each other's hair out. Hold on, what exactly is happening here? Who are these people? Is that not the new boy? Has he turned out to be one of the awakened? How is he even fighting a mutant? And before he can finish that thought, Bongsu batters our hero with a flurry of blows and drives him backwards, but our hero manages to land a kick of his own, and both of them go down. Even after the trait evolved, I still cannot beat him. If this carries on the way it is going, I'm the one who loses, not him. What I'm about to do could easily kill me, but I have no other choice. Right. By the look of it, he is about to do something insane again. Our hero pulls up the trait list and he deletes the pollution resistance trait. May your house be ruined, that is going to turn you into a mindless monster exactly like Bongsu. Both Bongsu and Rock are stunned by what happens next, because he genuinely does transform into a monster. Our hero starts controlling the polluted mana around him and gathering it above his head. And boom, he fires it at Bongsu as a beam attack, and it lands as a clean direct hit. And not only that, the same blast punches a hole clean through the roof of the dungeon they are standing in. Rock is terrified out of his mind and shouting, "What is that? What is all this power?" And what frightens him even more is that our hero is now looking directly at him. And, by the look on his face, planning to do something extremely unpleasant. What did I do to deserve this job? And yes, our hero has transformed completely into a monster and gained the mutant trait. Rock gets up and runs for his life, shouting, "God preserve me, I have to get out of here right now." But when he looks over his shoulder, he is horrified, because our hero's fist is already coming down towards his skull. But by pure luck, our hero shuts the transformation down at the last possible second and turns back into a human and drops flat on the ground from sheer exhaustion. Thank God I came out of that alive. Our hero explains that he exploited a bug in the game. When you acquire the mutated beast muscle and then delete the pollution resistance trait afterwards, you get the mutated body. Everybody in the world knows that a mutant can never return to being human. But if I can just acquire pollution resistance again and activate it, I can come straight back with no trouble at all. Some time passes and our hero sits there resting and says he never wants to experience that feeling again, ever, but all of it was worth the pain. Honestly, you're such a child. Anyway, the idiot managed to get his hands on Bongsu's mana core, which was a rank 1 core, and he kept hopping around and dancing with joy over it. Because even though it is only rank 1, that core is going to bring him serious money. Boss Rock catches him mid-dance and asks whether he is alright, while very carefully keeping his distance because our hero did technically transform, and rumors are going to spread that he turned and then came back. So our hero tells him that he has a body control ability and that he is not going to transform at all. So everything that happened here was a skill, not a monster transformation. Our hero confirms every word of it, and then hands him the slime cores as well, and tells them he is heading off because he needs to breathe some clean air. You're gonna ask me why he did not keep those cores for himself. I will tell you why. He was handing out a bribe so that not one of them ever opens his mouth about what happened down there. Time passes, and we go back to Chun, whose entire attitude towards our hero has flipped 180 degrees. Welcome back, Chief. Thank God for your safety. And our hero is completely baffled. Why is this man being so nice to me? He has even made me a cup of tea. And the reason, of course, is that Chun is now convinced he is one of the awakened. So he tells him he is going to find him far better work than cleaning. And here we learn that in the world of Arkan, the awakened are the people who wake up with real power. Power strong enough to let them live like kings. And Chun thinks that makes perfect sense since our hero managed to beat a mutant. Chun tells him he is not going to hold anything back and hands him the bag with his wages in it. Our hero is thoroughly enjoying himself and decides to let the man carry on believing he is awakened, because correcting him would be a waste of a good misunderstanding. His actual salary should have been around 5 million won, but Chun does the decent thing and hands him 12 million instead. And our hero's eyes light up like a sniper scope, and with a completely straight face he says, "You crooks really are the best people alive." I swear it. After he takes his money and heads out, he runs into a workmate who does not seem to know what to do with himself, and it turns out the man did not get enough money to live on, and he is clearly upset about it. So he asks our hero for a small loan. And our hero tells us that in this world, handing out money to people is never a good idea. Not everybody who behaves politely and kindly in front of you is going to resist stabbing you in the back one day. But unfortunately, he feels awful watching a man older than him humble himself for a bit of cash. So he pulls out a handful of slime cores and gives them to him. And sure enough, my friend, a little while later, that same man is laughing his head off and saying that Rin turned out to be a complete idiot the second he put on a sad face. Rock and the rest of them are laughing at him too and saying the boy is new to the trade and obviously simple. And the man says he is genuinely furious that Rin walked away with more money than any of them. And Rock, the sly one, says that Rin is soft and they should give him a beating and take the money off him. Sounds like you have got a plan, boss. Come on, tell me, what are you gonna do? Rock smiles a very nasty smile and says, "Be patient and you will see. We have to teach this boy a lesson he never forgets and show him exactly how frightening this world really is." Time passes, and 3 days later, in a certain hotel, our hero is spoiling himself absolutely rotten. Massages, room service, the lot. But even after 3 days of recovery, his muscles are still aching, so he decides to lay off using traits for a while, because traits are not a magic solution. Depending on which trait you use, the actual structure of your body changes, and the stronger the trait you switch on, the worse the side effects get, but that raises a problem. Can he actually live his life in this world without leaning on traits at all? Our hero looks out of the window and spots the Iron Grip gang moving through the street below. And here he explains that these gangs are the ones who genuinely hold power in Arkan, with monsters spreading everywhere, and ordinary citizens depending entirely on the awakened. That outcome is completely natural. I managed to clear the opening stages by leaning on traits, but by the look of things that is nowhere near enough. That old saying really was true, pay more and you win faster. So our hero heads off to a shop to sell the things he is carrying, and the girl behind the counter looks him up and down with visible disgust and says, "Let me stop you right there, sir. We do not buy rank 0 cores, slime cores, for example," and our hero tells her that he knows all of that already, and what he actually came to sell is this enormous monster core here. And the girl is genuinely stunned, because that is a rank 2 core. And our hero says, "Go on then, test it, check whether it is genuine or not, I will wait." And here we learn that there is a feature in this game called synthesis. Our hero spent the last 2 days in that hotel room turning Bongsu's rank 1 core into a rank 2 core. After sacrificing every single rank 0 slime core he had, each core rank is completely different from the next in both price and use. If he had sold all his rank 0 cores and every rank 1 core on top of them, he still would not have made a quarter of what a single rank 2 core brings in. Then he asks her whether they have any armor or weapons for sale. And sure enough, the girl takes him down to the storeroom, and he is absolutely delighted, because nearly every essential piece of equipment from the game is sitting right here in front of him. Our hero takes his sweet time picking out the weapons he needs, and he says, right now, I genuinely feel like I can actually play this insane game properly. And suddenly a young girl calls out to him and asks whether he is a mercenary because she needs help. Ah, no, I'm not a mercenary, I'm just passing through. Go and find somebody else. But the girl pulls 50,000 out of her jacket and says it will not take long at all, because there is a gang called the Iron Grip, frightening her, and all she needs is to get home safely. Our hero looks at it and sees an easy job with a fast payout. So he looks at the girl and says, lovely, no problem at all. We are men, are we not? We cannot let a girl walk the streets alone this late. So off she goes, walking, telling him they are almost there. And our hero is puzzled, because how exactly does this girl live around here in an alley like this? And he is still telling her that this is a dead end when he looks up and finds the girl legging it. And when he turns to look at her, she says, they are here, they have arrived. Our hero activates his night vision trait because he cannot see a thing, and then he is very surprised indeed because the girl has a weapon pointed at him, and she is laughing and telling him he turned out to be even more of an idiot than she expected, and our hero says, right. Looks like I walked into a trap from the very beginning, and it was the weapons I was carrying that made me a target. And when he looks behind him, he finds Boss Roke, who says, and where do you think you're off to this late, Chief? And straight after him, the other three from the crew come out of the shadows. Our hero is baffled and cannot understand why Rock is doing this to him after he saved every one of their lives down in that dungeon. And Rock says, you really are simple. Are you not? Do we need a reason to beat you? And he does not get to finish the sentence, because our hero throws the bag aside and sprints for the main street. Rock immediately screams at the girl to shoot him in the leg, and when she fires, the bullet takes him in the shoulder and drops him flat on the ground. You stupid girl. I told you the leg, not to kill him. And the girl tells him she did not want him escaping, and it is better for everyone if they just finish him off. Anyway, boss, even if he dies, we can sell the corpse to a mage and let him run experiments on it. Right, fine. Go and take the money and the equipment off him. And, hold on. Where exactly did the corpse go? Find him quickly, and zoom, an absolutely enormous slap arrives on the back of the bald man's neck and puts him straight to sleep on the pavement. Ruck is swearing and shouting, who is that? If you're a man, come out here, you coward. It is not possible. There is no way that boy is still alive, is there? Our hero activates every trait he has along with night vision and says, of course I'm still alive. Did you honestly think I was going to die at the hands of leftovers like you? And here we find out that our hero survived because he was wearing a bulletproof vest. And thanks to that vest, he managed to pick up a brand new trait, which is called Play Dead. You think you can keep hiding forever? Come out if you're a man. And he does not get to finish that sentence either, because our hero appears right behind him and says, boo. And zoom, he plants a fist straight in his face, knocks his teeth loose, and drops him on the ground crawling. Then he talks to him and says, I saved your life once already. And you repaid a kindness with a knife. So the life I gave you, I'm taking back off you right now. The punch was not even that hard, my friend, but it makes Rock absolutely furious. So he gets up, and this time he charges at our hero's stomach using his second trait, the one called Gazelle Leg. You're supposed to be thanking me for saving your life, you ungrateful thing. And zoom, our hero puts one across his face and says, may God bless whoever taught you manners today. Roke goes down on the ground again from the force of it. And our hero lifts his foot to introduce it to his face as well. But right then, the girl fires at him and shouts, stay exactly where you are, sunshine, or the next one goes in your head. And our hero says that he has been far too careless since the day he arrived in this world, because it is not the monsters that are dangerous here, it is not even the mutants. It is the human beings themselves. I was incredibly stupid to trust people this easily, and I'm not making that mistake ever again. So our hero pulls out the pistol he bought, and bang, He shoots the girl straight through the hand and knocks the weapon flying out of her grip. And bang, the second shot goes into the third man's shoulder. And then he threatens the lot of them and says, "That is enough. Right up to here, anyone who moves, I finish." Then he looks at Rock and says to himself, "I have to end Rock fast, so I'm actually safe." But suddenly Rock comes at him from behind and drives a foot into his stomach while he still thought the man was lying unconscious on the floor, and boom, another kick sends the pistol spinning out of his hand. And when our hero looks at Rock, he realizes the man has been awakened, and that his gazelle leg trait has evolved. And that is when he understands that Rock has just become one of the awakened. Our hero is stunned and says, "May God ruin the developer's house and the house of whoever built this game." Lads, since when was awakening into a superhuman this easy? And our hero explains that every character in the game has an awakening stage, and that this awakening system is the core growth system of the entire game starting from level 1. And any awakened human at level 1 can genuinely threaten the life of an ordinary person, even one carrying an automatic rifle. In other words, I'm about to have a very bad night, because I'm fighting an awakened man with this body, and our hero, who is staring at Rock trying to read him, suddenly loses him. Rock is simply gone, and he is genuinely afraid. Except he has not vanished at all. He is running along the wall using his movement skills, and he is winding up with everything he has to come down on top of our hero, who is standing there with absolutely nothing to defend himself with, and he says, "I have to dodge." And boom, an explosion goes off exactly where the attack landed, but our hero manages to slip out of it. Rock is absolutely furious and says, "So you can actually dodge, can you, Sunshine? Well, nothing is saving you tonight. You have to die. Go on then. Show me how you dodge this one." And boom, he kicks him and starts laughing because he has beaten Rin. I have won, it is over. But the look on his face changes completely when he hears our hero say, "I do not just dodge, you idiot. I can block, and I can do a great deal more than that. And I was absolutely right to buy myself an iron staff." Let us go back a little to when he was in the shop. He said that the pistol would be useful, but since the warrior class can use every kind of weapon, he was not going to restrict himself to firearms, and that he had to learn how to use close-range weapons as well. And now back to the fight between our hero and Rock, who manages to put some distance between them, but our hero recovers his balance fast, raises the staff, and zoom comes down on Rock with an attack that puts him on the floor. And that, of course, is after he acquired the striking trait. This trait is the very first specialist trait in the warrior trait line. So our hero starts throwing attack after attack, specifically so he can develop the new trait using the diagonal cut, the rush, and so on. But Rock manages to slip aside and gets ready to answer with a kick. And unfortunately, because our hero was throwing himself forward so hard, he left a hole in his own defense. But he cannot stop here, and he has to keep landing strikes so he can earn the trait, even if it costs him a broken bone or two. So our hero takes Rock's blow on one arm, and with the other arm he hammers Rock's leg. A strike from Rock, blocked by Rin. A strike from Rin, straight into Rock's leg, and after all of those exchanges, the trait finally evolves. Repeated strikes, and that is exactly what he needed. It is the best trait a warrior can have in the early stages. So our hero exploits the moment immediately, activates the trait, and brings it down on Rock, who has almost nothing left in him, and he is crying while he is being hit and saying, "Sir, stop. That is enough. I am sorry." And before he can finish that sentence, our hero drives a heavy strike into his stomach and says, "Stop, excuse me? Where exactly did you find this cheek, brother?" Rock goes down on the ground, and our hero shouts, "Ah, finally, finally I have beaten the great boss, Rock." And suddenly he starts to feel the color of his own body changing. And not only that, his body starts getting extremely hot, and he feels something very strange indeed. Mana begins gathering inside him, and he feels like he is about to burst from the inside out. Even his shoes are heating up like they are about to catch fire, And he stands there thinking and says, "No, no, do not tell me." And boom, an enormous explosion goes off across the whole area. But that was not an explosion from an attack or from anything else. That was a pillar of mana, and it started pouring into his body and rewriting it. And that is when he finally knows for certain that he has been awakened and that he is now one of the awakened. And after our hero awakens into a superhuman, he starts screaming, "Ah, finally I am an awakened, you beautiful idiots." And he stands there dancing and saying that offers are coming and money is coming and it is going to be a party. Then somebody says, "You look very happy, Chief. What is going on? Come on, tell me." And our hero, mid-dance, freezes solid and turns around to see who it is. And it turns out to be the Iron Grip, one of the free characters right after Warrior Rin. This character belongs to the warrior class as well, but he also handles firearms. And on top of that, the character is extremely strong, and he is one of the bosses of the gang. Specifically the Iron Grip gang. This gang is one of the underworld gangs of the city, and our hero is deeply worried because he has walked into their territory and caused an enormous amount of trouble in it. And what he has done might genuinely have provoked them. And sure enough, Boss Cheel says, "Where do you think you're going, Sunshine? You want to make this much noise in my streets and just walk away?" Our hero's face goes through several colors, and he says that he was only defending himself, nothing more. Boss Cheel loads his weapon and says, "So what you mean is, you were afraid of these children, and so you tore up my territory, and now what? You're not afraid of me." And our hero is thinking, "Oh no, oh no, I cannot fight in the state I am in, because I have not fully recovered yet." Cheel points the gun at his chest and says, "You have made the single biggest mistake of your life by provoking me. And today I'm going to show you what happens to any dog that provokes me." And our hero, being our hero, immediately says, "Ah, this thing is broken. It is completely broken." And Cheel looks at him and says, "Oh, that is very good. That is excellent. Actually, go on then, Chief. Tell me, what exactly are you going to do?" And our hero takes hold of the pistol in Cheel's grip and with absolute confidence says, "Do you think I'm afraid? Go on, pull the trigger and see whether I die or not." And bang, yes, the lunatic actually presses the trigger himself, and the round punches straight through his own shoulder, and Cheel is completely stunned. Why did the boy shoot himself? But Cheel and every single man with him is even more shocked by what happens next, because the wound starts healing right in front of them as a green glow spreads across it. And our hero says, "That one tickled boss, if you want to test me again, be my guest." Cheel laughs and says, "Look at this boy. I like you. And by the look of it, you genuinely are not afraid of death." And our hero is laughing to himself because he never expected rapid healing to evolve into regeneration on its own after he hit the first level of superhuman. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. And with the show I have just put on, there's no chance these people look down on me again. Our hero points at the men he finished off and tells Cheel that his skills are not luck. "I do not know who you are, sir, but if you decide to joke around with Warrior Rin, you're going to have a very interesting evening." Cheel laughs and says, "Warrior Rin, is it? So that is your name. I like that courage of yours, little one. I'm going to let you walk away from everything you have done tonight, but in exchange you're going to owe me a favor." And Cheel puts a hand on our hero's shoulder and says, "I'm certain you know exactly who I am, and you know precisely what it means when I am owed a favor by somebody." And our hero says, "Of course, boss, any time at all, I will pay it back." Cheel puts out his hand to shake on it, and our hero thinks to himself that Cheel is not the type who betrays people, and that if he could actually build a friendship with this man, it would be extremely useful. So the two of them shake hands, and our hero says, "See you next time, Boss Cheel." Some time passes, and now we go to the Tower of the Awakened, and our hero walks in absolutely stunned because the sight in front of him is spectacular. It is better than it looked in the game. The receptionist comes over to welcome him and asks whether this is his first time here and how she can help him. And our hero starts squinting at this girl and says he feels like he has seen her before somewhere. And she tells him that if he is here to get an Awakened license, then please come with me, sir. She shows him the mana measuring device and tells him to stand by it. so they can read his mana level and the traits he carries. And our hero says, "Oh, this is lovely. I do not even have to ask anybody where anything is. And the moment I have that license in my hand, I can just..." And suddenly there's an enormous burst of light that startles our hero and everybody else in the building. And then he hears people saying, "The Saintess is here. The Saintess has come." The Saintess? What Saintess where? I cannot see anything except an airship. And suddenly a beam of light comes down from that ship and a transport circle opens right in front of our hero, who is now genuinely terrified because what he is looking at are people from the old faith. And he asks himself why the final boss he is supposed to fight one day is standing here right now. "Move aside, boy, you and him. The Holy Sister is coming through," and our hero stands there thinking and says, "I'm supposed to still be in the tutorial phase of this game. How am I meeting the boss already?" And here our hero tells us that everybody calls her a holy sister and everybody adores her, but her real face is the face of a butcher. Every last member of the old faith is mentally unhinged. These people attack at random, and they do not distinguish between civilians and awakened at all. The priestess walks over to the mana measuring device, and the reading goes absolutely enormous from the sheer weight of her mana. Even our hero says he never once imagined he would see this in real life. After the surge finally dies down and the priests stop pouring mana into the machine, the system window appears and gives her age and her specialization, and a mana level of 8 with 6 ability circles. Everybody is going wild and calling her blessed and grabbing drums and drumming for her. Meanwhile, our hero says, "No, I'm not going to be impressed right now. Let me get out of here and get on with what I came to do." Because a mana level of 8 means her power is genuinely devastating. It can be compared to national level force. And unfortunately, that exact same power is what destroys the country in the future. But if I said that out loud to this lot banging drums over there, they would call me a heretic and I would probably be stoned to death for it. Never mind. Let me go and measure my own ability now. But first I have to delete 3 of my traits so I do not attract any attention. And while he is busy doing exactly that, the Saintess suddenly turns her head and looks straight at him. Her followers ask her what is wrong, and she tells them that she can see somebody here who is not ordinary at all. And hup, she appears directly behind him, cutting straight through the space between them and says, "You have absolutely astonishing abilities. Madam, you cannot just do that." But then he is genuinely shaken because she has just spoken about his ability, and he asks himself whether she actually sensed him deleting and swapping his traits around at will. Oh, this is bad. This is very bad. If she really did feel that, then I'm finished. The crowd are muttering to each other and asking what the Holy One is doing, and why on earth the Saintess is talking to some ordinary nobody like him. And suddenly the Saintess starts walking towards our hero, and she takes hold of his hand and asks him his name. My name is Warrior Rin, and suddenly our hero feels genuine terror because his life is about to end right here. Literally. And the reason, my friend, is that when the Saintess asks anybody for their name, she baptizes them on the spot, and sure enough, she starts murmuring incantations while smiling a very sly smile. And those glowing runes start moving from her hands towards our hero's body. Everybody watching thinks he is a lucky man, because the Saintess herself is performing his baptism. But not one of them understands a thing. And our hero is cursing her in every language he knows, because if he takes on the baptism trait, he has no option left except to join their cult. And after that, his fate is death at the hands of the heavenly devil, who wipes them all out in the war in the future. So our hero rips his hand back fast and refuses, and he says out loud that joining this pack of lunatics would be nothing but suicide, and her power comes crashing down on him, and he collapses on the floor. But he gathers his courage back and says it again. He refuses the baptism, and the Saintess says, "Say that one more time, because I do not think I heard you properly, and I do not believe you're being serious right now." And our hero tells her that he is completely serious and that he refuses the baptism. "Ah, so you refuse. You refuse to become one of our followers and to serve our ruler. That is your decision, and you are free to make it." But you should know that our ruler already has his eye on you. And the saintess takes hold of our hero's shoulder and releases her power into him, and adds, "Do not forget that the holy energy has already entered your body, and it is going to keep eating away at you. And if you cannot resist it, then consider that precious personal freedom of yours completely meaningless, and you will die the death of a dog." And sure enough, the moment the saintess walks away, our hero feels his body being literally devoured by the ruler's fire, and his scream fills the entire hall. And everybody says he deserves it for refusing the baptism. But every single one of them is a fool, and not one of them understands anything at all, and they are all just clapping along. And our hero picks up a trait called holy fever, which is the direct result of refusing that baptism, and this trait is one of the most vicious curses in the entire world of Arken. To get rid of a curse like this, the only method available is to crawl to the cult and beg them to baptize you. I refused the baptism because I was thinking about the future, but by the look of things, this is where my life ends. And suddenly water comes pouring down over our hero in the hope that it might put out these fever flames, and our hero, through one half-open eye, tries to see who is helping him. And it turns out to be the receptionist who guided him here, and she is calling out to him to try and bring him round, and our hero says that nothing like this has ever happened before. Nobody has ever helped a person struck with the fever because they are all terrified it will transfer to them. So he gets up to thank her, and he decides he is going to swallow this pain to the very end. And sure enough, within moments a new trait arrives, Holy Aura Resistance, and through it he can reduce the damage from the raging fire that is currently eating its way through his body. Our hero drops into a meditation posture and starts trying to control his own mana. And he explains that the special feature of this holy fire is that the stronger you become, the more the damage against you gets multiplied, which is exactly why the flames are weak right now, because he is still only level 1, and that means he can actually get rid of them. The first condition for doing that is acquiring the Holy Resistance property. So he opens the system window and stacks everything connected to mana into his list, deliberately feeding the fire. And sure enough, the fever flames get stronger, and he starts suffering twice as badly, and the receptionist behind him is doing everything she possibly can to help him and keep pouring water over him. Our hero thanks God that this girl is helping him, even if it is only with a bit of water, in the absolutely hopeless situation he is currently in, and now he has to focus on the contradiction between the water and the fire, obviously, so he can acquire the property he needs. And for our hero, time itself seems to stop all around him. He tries to absorb the aura of the fire and the water together, using the mana absorption trait and mana manipulation, so he can control both of them at once and hold them in balance. And immediately after he does all of that, he opens his eyes and a completely different aura comes blazing out of him, produced by the reaction between the two. And it is so intense that it blinds every single person standing there watching him. And here we learn that the source of that aura was a brand new trait, and that trait is the magic shield. Finally I have got a shared level 1 property, and this property is something only defenders are supposed to possess. The receptionist checks that he is alright, and our hero tells her that he is fine. Thank God. As for the crowd watching all of this, they are astonished that he managed to shake off the fever at all. And our hero says he has not got rid of the curse in the slightest. This shield is only a temporary solution until he gets used to the pain, then he goes off to finish the mana test and take his measurements so he can get his license. And finally, the machine finishes calculating his mana level, which comes out as a level 1 awakened human with 6 ability circles. Naturally, the crowd start praising him and saying that this is exactly why the Saintess was so interested in him and wanted to baptize him personally. The receptionist comes over to congratulate him and tells him she has never seen anybody start out with 6 circles while still at level 1. Then she asks him to follow her so she can hand over his license. And sure enough, a little while later, she presents it to him and congratulates him because he can now use every facility the Awakened have access to. You have no idea what I went through to get you, you gorgeous little card. The receptionist was about to start listing all the privileges he can claim, but he cuts her off and tells her he already knows everything. Tax reductions, full tax exemption if his level rises, immunity privileges, free transport, and billiards tables, obviously. The receptionist says, by the look of it, you know absolutely everything about this field, sir. And our hero says, yes, you could call me an addict. I mean a doctor in this field. He was about to say game addict and pulled his tongue back at the last possible second. Anyway, after that, he asks her for a favor and says he does not like wasting time. So please find me a way out of here quietly. And she tells him not to worry at all, because she was ready for this exact situation already. And she flips her jacket over her shoulders in a scene absolutely dripping with pride and says, follow me. And our hero obviously is a sheep who has never seen a woman in his life. Bye-bye. So off they go through a hidden passage, and our hero thanks her for all of this care and attention, and she tells him not to worry, because we help each other around here. And because he met the necessary conditions, he picks up the stealth property as well. Even though he was not expecting to get it right now at all, it simply turned up by coincidence. She points out the place he can leave from, and our hero thanks her for everything she has done for him all day. Honestly, I cannot believe there is a person this decent. In this rotten world of Arkan, when I become someone stronger, I swear I will repay this kindness one day. And then he remembers that he forgot to ask her name. But he also remembers that she gave him her card. And oh dear, when he looks at that card, he gets a serious shock because this girl's name is Han Sora. And our hero tells us that Sora is an 80s rank warrior and one of the 3 strongest characters in the entire game. And in the game, her look was always that of a complete lunatic butcher. And here I was wondering why I thought I recognized her. I never once imagined she would turn out like this. In the game, her whole appearance was insane, but here she is unbelievably gentle. What exactly happened to her to change her like that? Time passes, and we see our hero out hunting slimes, and he is absolutely furious, cursing and swearing. Awakened human? What awakened human? What rubbish is this? The thing that was supposed to change my whole life. I have been at this for an entire week, and I have cleared 2 chambers. 2, I genuinely feel like I'm going to die of exhaustion. I finished 1 cave after 4 days of work, and I'm completely done in and finished. So what am I supposed to do about the rest of it? And our hero tells us the reason he is so slow at the cleaning. It is because he has locked his properties into maintaining the magic shield, the one protecting him from the curse. If he had set his traits for cleaning instead, he would have finished this place a very long time ago. But unfortunately, he cannot change them because of this cursed fever. And in order to drive the curse out of his body, he has to buy the nectar potion. But unfortunately, that potion is extremely expensive. Even if I worked for a solid month, I still could not cover the price of it, and suddenly our hero's phone starts ringing and a call comes through. And the person calling him is Chun, who rings every 5 minutes and bores him half to death. And because the man has genuinely worn him out with all this ringing, he was about to reject the call. But then an idea arrives, and he smiles a very nasty smile and says, well, now, there's no reason we cannot make use of Idiot Chun, is there? And sure enough, the next day we go to Chun, who is like a cat that has just been fed a bit of food and who is absolutely delighted to know somebody like Rin, a man who survived the ordeal of the baptism and awakened with 6 ability circles on top of it. Get on with it, uncle. Tell me what you want. You know I do not like all this flattery. And first of all, tell me what happened with the request I made. And Chun tells him that hunting down this nectar potion is exhausting work, because it is a material that only 5th level awakened and above are permitted to request. Right, uncle? If you cannot find it, just say so, and I will be on my way. And Chun leaps up and says, no, sir, wait, do not worry at all. I will find it and bring it to you, I swear. Even if I have to dig it out from underneath the ground itself. And our hero smiles that nasty smile again and says, this Chun will die trying, and he will do absolutely anything, purely because he wants a work contract with me. so that is why he will hunt down the nectar. Then our hero sits down and says, "Right, uncle, tell me what you want." Chun shows him a tablet with a team photograph on it and asks whether he has ever heard of the first protection team. The what? Protection team? This is genuinely the first time I have heard of it. Is that a security company, Uncle Chun? And Chun tells him they are a private military company and one of the 10 largest firms in the entire world. And the people who own that company are a husband and wife, and their roots go back to an extremely powerful warrior family, which is exactly why their background is so formidable. Yes, Uncle Chun, but you have not told me what these people who want to throw money around actually want. And Chun tells him that they have filed a request for help because their son has a problem. He is over 18, and he still has not shown any sign whatsoever of awakening into a superhuman, even though they have tried absolutely everything to help him. Chun says the boy has a mana level of grade 8, which is the strange part because he still has not awakened, and these people want help from an awakened human of at least rank 1. And if you think you're suitable for it, you can help them. Our hero sits there thinking about it for a while, and then he says, "Right, Uncle Chun, tell them I will come and see their son soon." And sure enough, our hero goes off with Chun to these people's mansion, but they end up sitting there for quite a while because the family are obviously busy and might be running late. Our hero is not listening to a single word Chun is saying because he is too busy staring around at the palace and muttering, "Oh Lord, promise us one of these one day." Their voices pull him out of his little daydream as they apologize for being late. The mother introduces herself, and her name is Miran, and the father's name is Junho. Chun jumps up to greet them and says, No, there is no need at all. We only just arrived ourselves." Our hero greets them too, and takes one good look at them, and works out that they are at minimum 6th level awakened humans purely from the sheer weight of the aura coming off them. The father says straight out that he does not trust our hero at all. But Miran tells him not to talk like that, and adds that if he does not want to sit with them, he can go back to his work. And Junho sits back down like a scolded dog, which makes it extremely clear who actually runs this house. Miran says, "Well, since you're both here, you have obviously already accepted to help us." And our hero says he does intend to help, but first he has to know whether there is something specific preventing the boy from awakening. And Junho slams his hand down on the desk and says, "And you think you have the qualifications to help him at all? Why are you asking such strange questions? You have only just awakened yourself? Very recently." Miran calms him down and apologizes to our hero, explaining that he is only upset about the state of their son and did not mean anything unpleasant by it. But she also tells him that she cannot give him the reason their son has not awakened, and she wants to know whether he will agree to help them or not. Because looking at the state you're currently in, I think you are in need of help yourself, and you need the nectar potion as soon as humanly possible. And our hero is genuinely surprised at that, and says these people would do absolutely anything to save their son. And on top of that, they already know he needs the nectar, which only makes him more certain about the suspicions he already had. So he tells them he wants to see their son, and within moments the son appears, and his name is Dawin. Our hero goes over to greet him and examines him and says he cannot see a single particle of mana on him, which is extremely strange. But then he looks down at the boy's hands and is surprised and says, "Oh, those are very nice gauntlets you're wearing there, Chief." And Dawin tells him they really are excellent, and that he is genuinely grateful for them. Yes, of course you are grateful for them, and that is because you need a seal exactly that strong in order to protect you. That one sentence stuns the entire family, because their secret has just been laid out on the table, and our hero smiles a very sly smile at them and says he expected this from the very beginning, and became completely certain the moment he saw those gauntlets, which had made him suspicious in the first place, especially since they set the condition that a rank 1 awakened had to be the one helping them. It was almost as if they deliberately wanted him to accept. Anyway, our hero turns to Dawin and says, "You were baptized by those cult lunatics as well, were you not? And the reason your son is not awakened is that he refused his baptism? And in that case, You sealed his mana away so the holy fever could not torture him, and obviously they did not want to announce any of this publicly, so they would not end up in open conflict with the Saintess, which is exactly why, when they heard our hero had beaten his own curse, they decided to summon him here to help their son. Daewon laughs and says he is extremely clever and tells him, "You could genuinely work as a detective boss. Thank you very much, my friend. I am only slightly cleverer than average." And our hero, the sly thing, laughs to himself and says that nothing on earth can stay hidden from him as long as he knows the future and knows everything about these people. And the moment he saw Daewon's face, he remembered an extremely important event from the game. Daewon, who refused to join them at first and refused the baptism. His family lost their power because of that, and so in the end he decided to join the cult against his own will. And here the entire family goes completely soft, and they ask him whether there is any way at all to save their son without him having to join that pack of lunatics, and our hero says the world really is like a cucumber. The very people who were treating him with arrogance a minute ago are now treating him with respect. He walks over and puts a hand on Daewon's shoulder and says, "I know exactly what pain you're feeling right now because I have felt it myself. And that is precisely why I intend to save you." And Daewon is overjoyed and thanks him and says he is a genuinely honorable man and goes to hug him. Meanwhile, our hero, the sly thing, is laughing to himself and saying he is not doing this because he is honorable at all. He has his own private plans, and he makes a promise to the Saintess and says, "Your future leader is now in debt to me, you lunatics." Then our hero tells them that he has one condition before he can help them, and they are all completely puzzled and cannot work out what else this boy could possibly want. But Miran says she does not care in the slightest what the condition is, as long as he can genuinely cure her son. And our hero laughs and says the request is going to be slightly difficult, because what he needs is to learn the mountain-destroying sword style that their family uses. The entire family is stunned when they hear that, and our hero just laughs and asks them for their opinion. And they tell him he is massively overreaching with his demands. Poor Chun is standing there watching all of this, and is about to die on the spot from sheer terror, because of the aura now pouring out of Miran, who is asking our hero whether she genuinely heard him correctly, and whether he has just asked her to teach him her family's signature style. And with absolute shamelessness, our hero simply nods. Chun is now approximately 3 seconds from a heart attack, and he cannot understand why she has released this much killing intent so suddenly. Even Junho, who was shouting his head off a minute ago, is now trying to calm his wife down so they can actually negotiate. And here our hero tells us that this dueling style is one of the finest sword styles in the entire world, and simply possessing it would give him the power to obtain anything he needs. And there are only a very small number of people who actually use it, like Miran and her husband, with one single swing. Those two can blow tanks and armored vehicles apart without effort. Which is exactly why not just anybody is permitted to learn it, because its power is considered outright cheating, and because of that, governments all over the world try to ban it as a direct threat. Our hero watches Miran, who is roughly 1 second away from getting up and beating him into paste, and asks her to calm down, and says he will learn the style after he helps her son, obviously. And Daewon tells his mother that he is happy to withdraw, and that he does not want the treatment at all, if she is refusing. And Miran is startled by that, and says she has forgotten the single most important thing in her life, which is her son's treatment, so she pulls her aura back in and tells our hero that she agrees. And she adds that the moment her son is healed, she will hand over the potion and a flash drive containing the steps of the technique as well. Our hero is genuinely surprised and asks whether they are certain and whether they really are not refusing. And they tell him that their son's safety is the most important thing in the world to them right now. And obviously our hero, the sly thing, keeps laughing and telling them to rely on him completely and that he will bring the boy back to normal and awaken him on top of it. Miran thanks him and says they are placing all of their hopes on him and that if he fails, they will be absolutely devastated. Do not worry about a thing. Come on, let us start right now. And sure enough, moments later, they all move to another room, and this room has a focusing circle in the center of it, and every single tool he could possibly need, whether that is mid-grade healing potions or anything else he might ask for. And our hero says, "Right, lovely, you can all leave now and leave me and Dawan alone in here." Miran asks him to take very good care of her son and apologizes for getting angry earlier because her boy was forced into accepting the baptism from the saintess while he was still at school. His entire life since then has been this one room he lives in. He never went outside and he never met a single person. And she apologizes again because they are extremely sensitive about anything at all connected to Dawan. And our hero watches her leave and says he had no idea they had suffered this badly because of that stupid saintess. And in the future, Dawan was going to defy his own family's orders and join the saintess purely to protect them from her. And now he finally understands the sheer size of the guilt those two are carrying. So our hero tells Miran not to worry and that he is going to be extremely careful about making sure this works no matter what it costs. And after Miran leaves, our hero has a good stretch and asks Dawan whether he is ready. And obviously Dawan is terrified, so our hero says, "What is wrong with you, my friend? Why are you so frightened? What exactly do you think I'm going to do to you?" And Dawan says, "Sir, I'm scared you're going to inject me with strange substances and run experiments on me." And our hero is baffled and says, "Where on earth did you get that from, my friend?" Normally a person is supposed to drink the nectar potion to be cured of the curse, but because Dawan has such an enormous quantity of mana inside his body, if he tried to wake that body up and become an awakened human, the curse would tear him apart from the inside. So our hero tells Dawan they are going to begin, but first he has to promise that he will never tell a single soul anything about what happens in this room today, even if his own family ask him directly. Dawan promises exactly that, and after that, our hero starts using his mana barrier to wrap both himself and Dawan inside it. And once he does that, the curse activates in his body all over again and starts burning through him. Our hero explains that when he raised the magic barrier and its effect left his body, the curse weakened. And now he has to drink the magic potions. Dawan asks whether he is alright because he can see the man swallowing mana bottles back to back like a lunatic. As for Dawan, who is in a completely different world at this point, he says that these mana potions taste worse than onion juice, and the system pops up for our hero and tells him he has acquired the potion addict trait, which is going to help him improve any potion he takes from now on. And our hero says he has finally finished the second stage, and now he is entering the most important stage of all. The system then hands him the wide field shield trait, which increases the efficiency of the shield and expands it. And our hero laughs and says he has been extremely clever, because on top of getting rid of the curse, he is also strengthening his own abilities at the same time. Dawan congratulates him and says, "I have honestly never seen anything like this in my life. Boss, you're an absolute genius." And our hero believes every word of it, and takes the opportunity to show off a bit, and says, "Yes, I know." Then he tells Dawan to take off his gauntlets so the mana seal is released, and to put one hand only outside the barrier, and the moment he does that, our hero is going to take hold of that hand, and then they can begin the actual treatment. Dawan does not understand and asks whether that is dangerous for both of them, because the two curses sitting on their bodies are going to react against each other. So our hero steps outside the mana barrier, and the curse immediately activates on him, and he tells Dawan that his curse is going to be weaker because he is inside the barrier, unlike me. And he asks Dawan to get his hand out right now quickly and stop wasting time. And sure enough, Dawan pulls the gauntlet off, and he is absolutely terrified, because this is the first time he has removed it since the moment he was cursed. But he pushes his hand out through the magic barrier fast, and an absolutely colossal quantity of mana comes pouring out of it. The curse is enormous, and it starts spreading through the whole room. Our hero backs off, not believing the sheer amount of mana in front of him, and asks himself how a stored quantity this large is even possible. And then he takes hold of the hand anyway and says, "It does not matter, I have no other option." But the moment he does that, the curse starts transferring into his own body, and he begins to suffer horribly, to the point where he very nearly loses consciousness from the pain. Ah, this curse is stronger by several times than the one the Saintess put on me. Right now, I can feel every single cell in my body starting to burn. No, I'm not having this. And our hero dives straight back inside the magic barrier. And after that, the curse's effect on his body stops dead. Doan does not understand what is happening at all and asks him why he ran that experiment just now. And the system tells our hero that he has acquired the pain absorption trait, which lets him absorb the pain felt by anybody he touches. Daewon is overjoyed and cannot believe that the curse which had been torturing him has finally disappeared. And our hero laughs at him and says, "This is exactly why I told you to trust me. I told you I would help you, and there you go. I kept my promise, and here we find out that our hero was using the magic barrier and pain absorption together in order to pull the holy energy out of the boy and take the weight of the curse off him." Then our hero picks up his sword and tells Doan to get up quickly and get ready right now, and to attack him while the curse is still weak, and to keep going until his strength awakens as a superhuman. And Doan takes the sword and says, "Lovely, understood, I get it." Then Doan charges our hero with everything he has, and our hero blocks him fast. But Doan manages to break his shield outright and comes running after him to attack again. And our hero is genuinely shocked and says that is impossible. How does this boy do that with a strike from a wooden sword? And Doan attacks him again and tries to land a hit, but our hero manages to dodge it and says that even using his defensive abilities, he cannot survive another blow like that. And Doan is nowhere near finished and is coming at him again. And our hero genuinely cannot imagine that somebody who has not even been awakened yet could be this strong. He dodges the strike fast before it lands on him again, and starts wondering what on earth this boy's family have been teaching him all this time for his skills to be this terrifying. After he dodges, our hero shifts around behind him and asks Doan whether they are finished now. And then the system appears and tells our hero that he has acquired the defense trait and the evasion trait as well. And our hero looks at Doan and says that the energy now pouring out of him is the clearest possible proof that he has finally started awakening as a superhuman, and that the mission is about to end. But then, poor thing, our hero receives the biggest shock of his entire life, because the aura coming out of Doan is fusing itself with the sword, and that means he has awakened with a special trait called Sword and Body Union. The system tells Doan that he is awakened at a high rank, and gained a trait of S rank, and that all of his statistics as a swordsman are about to increase. Doan grabs the sword again and charges our hero one more time. And, oh dear, our hero is now absolutely terrified and about to have an accident. "Please, I am begging you. Wait, Captain, if that power lands on me, it will not injure me, it will kill me. May your house be ruined." Our hero, watching the incoming attack, says he cannot possibly block this one, and if it hits him, he will be reciting his last prayers. So he throws open the trait list and changes absolutely everything he has in order to block this strike, choosing everything connected to defense so he does not get hit, and stacking the odds however he can. He clamps his hands together fast and uses the shield on his arm and releases the defense skill onto it, on top of the concentrated mana chamber and the mana circle underneath him, and tries to stand against the lethal attack coming down on top of him. And boom, the strike smashes into him and literally explodes inside the room. And once the dust clears, we see a brand new shield that appeared after it blocked the attack. And that was the new trait he had just acquired, the mana shield. Our hero says, "Thank God, I escaped death by an absolute miracle." And then he laughs and says that this mana shield is the result of merging every single defensive skill he owns. Our hero watches Doan and says, "You used far too much power there, Chief. I nearly died. Literally." But then he stops talking, because he can see that Doan is completely wrecked from using every drop of mana in his body, and from the sheer exhaustion the boy passes out and drops on the floor. "Ah, you have got some nerve, going to sleep after nearly finishing me off anyway." Our hero leaves him to sleep and ignores him completely and says it was obviously losing control of his aura that caused all of this, and now he is fully awakened, and his aura has settled. In the game, Dowan was extremely strong, but his specialization was Holy Knight, which is exactly why his power was limited, even though he was still powerful. But now, after awakening as a swordsman, he has awakened with a legendary ability that is going to make him one of the strongest characters in the world. And our hero sits there thinking to himself and says he has just accidentally created a genuine monster. Never mind, I have finished with him now, and I'm going to hand him back to his family. Ah, this mission was genuinely difficult, and he smiles that sly smile again, and says that Doan is extremely strong, exactly like his family, and since Doan now owes him a favor, he intends to squeeze absolutely every drop of use out of it. And sure enough, our hero brings Doan back to his mother and father, who cannot believe that their son is finally free of the curse and awakened on top of it. They thank our hero and tell him they are enormously in his debt, and he tells them, "No, honestly, do not worry about it. This is nothing. You simply found the right man for the job." Miron watches her son and says it has been an extremely long time since the last time they saw him sleeping peacefully like this, with no pain from the curse. Miron nods to Junho to hand over what they agreed with our hero, and sure enough, Junho produces an envelope and tells our hero that he has put a small reward inside, on top of the chip containing the technique. And in a little while, he will bring the potion as well. So do not worry. The money is not much, 1 billion, that is all. Our hero hears that number from a distance and very nearly has a stroke. He grabs Junho's hand at approximately the speed of light and shakes it and says, "Sir, you have genuinely put yourself to trouble, I swear, even though I do not care about money at all." "Ah, yes, that is very obvious about you, my friend." On the way back to the city, our hero says this is absolutely incredible, and the pile of prizes this time was outrageous. Chun asks him whether he intends to drink the potion straight away, and our hero tells him that he does, and that he is going to take a rest before he continues with his missions. Chun tells him that his decision is 100% correct, because breaking the curse the way he did could easily set the old faith chasing after him and trying to get rid of him. Never mind the gangs and the criminals, who are going to come sniffing around because of the prizes he has just won, and the potion and the chip in particular. Chun advises him that before he drinks the potion, he should split it and refine it so he can squeeze the absolute maximum out of it. And our hero says Chun is completely right, and if he can refine and reforge that potion, he could push his awakened level up as well. A little while later, they finally reach the hotel our hero is staying in, and Chun tells him that if he can just be patient a little longer, he will prepare the materials he needs for refining the potion, and he will call him. And our hero tells him he will be waiting and that he needs to find those resources fast. But then our hero walks into the hotel and says that actually he cannot wait at all, and he is drinking it right now because he can see how genuinely dangerous the world of Arkan is. After what happened with Rock, he is not supposed to trust a single person. And even Chun himself could betray him. And besides all of that, he already has 3 abilities connected to mana absorption and potions, and those are going to help him get the full benefit out of it while he drinks it anyway. So he crosses his fingers and hopes he gets the absolute maximum out of it. And when he does drink it, he feels every single cell in his body being broken apart and dismantled and then put back together again. And not only that, he can feel an enormous quantity of mana pouring into his body, like a battery being charged with raw energy. And because of that colossal amount of energy, a magical explosion goes off inside his hotel room. And moments later, our hero is finished, and he has climbed to the 2nd level of awakened human. And he laughs and says he has been waiting for this exact moment for a very long time. and the system tells him that he has acquired the Black Flame ability. And our hero is absolutely delighted because this is one of the strongest abilities in the entire game. And by adding this skill to the mountain-destroying sword style, he is going to accomplish every single goal he has set for himself in the coming period. So, my friends, our hero arrived in this world as a dead man in the weakest body in the game. And in a matter of weeks, he has become a second-level awakened human, carrying the Black Flame, a legendary sword technique, and a monster he created with his own two hands. And this is only the beginning, because the old faith is watching him. The gangs are circling around him, and there are far bigger things waiting for him in the next part. And with that, our episode ends here for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be waiting for your comments to tell me exactly what you thought of it. And I will be waiting for the like and the share, and for you to subscribe to the channel, and anyone who has not subscribed yet, subscribe and turn the bell on. Wait for us together in the coming episodes and everything new. Goodbye for now.